Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I have absolutely no idea whether we are in fact live, but what I can say is that quite remarkably, this has gone like silky smooth up to now, because let me tell you now, I've had some live shows that haven't gone that smooth. Oh, by Jeffrey's Tatch, I have had some that have not gone that smooth, and that's a good look. That mustache, Jeff. Don't let anybody say it's like a new thing entirely for you. You've got a bit of a Magnum PI look going on there.
A little Western going on there.
It's nice, man.
A little bit longer, I can get that thing waxed up.
Tombstone. Hey, what about that? Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are live. Let's just check if anybody can give me anything, letting us know that we're on, and then we'll let it build a little bit. Let me see. Ash from the Isle of Man. Gonzo, live indeed. Yeah, guys, we are live. It's going technically smooth, and we haven't even got Ray Liepins here. What's going on, son? I think that's a good place to start, actually. A lot of hype about this match, guys. But before we get into the deep, Giannis, how well do you know race cats?
I don't care about cats. I'm not a cat lover, so.
You're not one of those guys.
Who knows?
You're not like, are you more of a dog man?
I don't have any pets at all.
No,
but if I would have to choose, I would choose a dog. Yeah.
Fair enough, son. Some people are dog, some people are cat. But I thought in Latvia it was illegal to not like cats. It's being that you've got one of the greatest cat lovers of all time in your nation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And for regulars to the show, you'll know that on occasion we had a few technical problems. Not the case tonight. All of these guys, utmost professional. I asked them if they'd dial in 5 minutes before showtime, and let me tell you now, every single one of them did that. Mindaugas Terasaitis was bang on the money. Second in was the Hale raiser, Jeff Hale. Who was last? It was Tom Holland. Bit relaxed, that Brit. What can I tell you? So, guys, welcome to the show. I'm going to introduce for new people in the chat. If you don't know who we've got on the show tonight, let me give you a little introduction to the guys that are on the show. First of all, I'm going to go in order of when they came on. This man is talked about as a potential favourite of this particular event. He is the man with momentum in his corner. He's a former European champion, Lithuanian national champion, and world number 2. And his name is Mindaugas Terasaitis. And there he is, right at the top of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, throwing the flex down. That's what he's working with. And if you want to know more about Mindaugas, we actually did a deep inside the minds with this fella. And I think we did either 2 or 3 episodes with Mindaugas. So get yourself back, check that out. And that'll give you a bit of an indication on exactly what the history of Mindaugas is, where he came from, and how he got to the level he's at in the sport. Moving swiftly on, our second arm wrestler is, I'm going to say, an Arm Wars legend. This guy is also one of my closest personal friends in the sport of arm wrestling and one of my best friends out of arm wrestling. I absolutely love this fella. He is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, USA, and his name is the Hale Raiser, Jeff Hale. Jeff, welcome to the show, brother. It's been a while.
Woo!
Yeah.
Still 27.
Third on the dial-in was a man who needs no introduction anywhere in the world of arm wrestling. He is one of the greats of the lightweight, past and present. Former WAL hammer holder. He's also a 4-time WAF world champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Jedi, Giannis Armrest. Giannis, you did scare me a bit, son, because we've got a little group chat, ladies and gents, and Mr. Clean, Giannis Armrest, dropped a little Latvian joke on our ass, where we announced the time, and he said, "Sorry, guys, I'll be in bed." And he's so professional that I actually believe the motherfucker. But oh no, I sent him a little note today saying, "You are joking, you'll be on the show." And he said, "Yes, little joke." So it's the kind of humour you can expect from Giannis Armrest. Giannis, great to have you on, dude. And I know this will get a bit frosty as we crack on between the guys we've got on here. Last, but maybe by no means least, potentially the biggest man in this lightweight battleground. He walks around slightly over the 80 kilo mark, I believe, right now, due to the fact that he stands around 6'3" in height. Ladies and gents, he is the multiple British national champion and one of the best Brits ever to do it. He's going to be arm wrestling on home soil and he'll have a lot of local support, but will it be enough for the lean machine, Tom Holland? Dude. Confidence barometer, Tom. These guys are coming to your house. How are you feeling about that, son?
Oh, wait. First big competition in a long time. I said injury's feeling much better now. Yeah, I can't wait. Get Mindaugas on the right arm, see how that goes.
That's right, because you guys have faced before on the opposite paw, haven't you? You've pulled on the left arm, but have you ever arm wrestled on the right, lads?
No, we had a little muck about on the table, on the side table, but Dad don't say anything. No. You can't tell anything from that. But yeah, we didn't do much either, really, just literally a little feel of each other.
Now, I'm going to knock over a couple of super chats and then we'll get into the deep of it. Herpes Asperini. Dude, thank you very much for your early super chat. Really appreciate it. Any of you tough guys want to take me on? Herpes Asperini. I think people spend a lot of time trying to avoid herpes. Although I know Tom's tried very hard in the past. But we'll probably leave that. Sapthebee. Easy, brother. Easy now. So, Sapthebee, thanks for your super chat, son. Really appreciate it. Please include Bojidar in this. He'd smash everyone. Well, one thing I will say is that Bojidar Simeonov is an absolute beast. And I don't think you'd get any arguments from anybody on the call that ain't the case. Lovely dude as well. And a little bit of news for everybody. Bojidar will probably be on the card at Reality Check. So keep watching for that one. Some interesting and exciting conversations taking place right now, guys. He asked for involvement on the card, and it's just getting the right opponent. Not too many dudes can mix it up with Bojidar. But I want to go to Giannis Amelins next. Giannis, mate, it is arguable that you potentially have as much or more pressure than anybody in this four-man lineup, because you're the guy with, again, arguably the biggest reputation. You forged that reputation in all areas of the world, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, and of course, North America. And you're very much respected in all of those places, mate. When you're coming into this kind of field and this kind of environment, because you're used to arm wars before, but I don't think you've ever done a battleground, unless I'm mistaken. Have you pulled an Arm Wars battleground before, buddy?
No, I don't think so. No, I haven't.
And would your concern, where I was going with this, would your concern be more around the endurance element that's going to obviously be a factor here? I say obviously, likely to be a factor here, or is it just the individual level of the lads that are on the call?
I have never been afraid of many fights, of many rounds, and I love a tournament. I love super match, so that's just a new experience. And you said before, I don't know, I don't see anything I can lose. That's a sport. One day you win, one day you lose, and I have proved everything before, and I always like different challenge, and why not?
Giannis is getting ready to lose. Nice.
Mindaugas Telestatus, welcome to the call.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Now,
Neil, about Mindaugas, you said before, European champion and WAF second place and Lithuanian national champion. If I'm not wrong, Mindaugas 2 years in a row is Lithuanian second place winner, not national champion. I want to congratulate Šarūnas Manarchis for exceptional performance a few weeks ago when he won against Mindaugas, and same last year.
I like it.
Mindaugas still have a lot to prove in a local place in the Baltic region. against me, against the Sharunas, against the Ashmonas Mantas.
Yeah, so what Giannis is saying is that I keep losing the right hand nationals for maybe even 2 or 3 years in a row against this Lithuanian guy. Like, for the past couple of years, I would always go up in class a little bit just to chase him.
Yeah.
His name is Sharunas.
Yeah, I know him well.
But this year, I think I was in his real weight class and I still lost. So very, very difficult stylistically for me. I have to really change my style, I think, against that guy.
But it's fair to say you've got the pedigree to back that up. For every sort of punch, there's a counter punch, mate. And obviously you're a guy that's won the Zloty Tour. You've definitely racked up some very, very impressive victories in your time, as everybody on the call has. And the next guy I wanted to come to in that respect would be maybe the naturally smallest frame man in the battleground, and the guy who's also got an enormous amount of pressure coming into this because of his track record in arm wars. It's got to be the Hale Razor. I mean, Jeff, you people don't know about you as a man. They obviously know the Hale Razor character. They know the screen persona that you portray in arm wars and that you've entertained millions, literally millions of people around the world with. But what they perhaps don't know is your absolute hunger to seek out the best guys and seek out the challenge. And one thing I always took my hat off to you for, and I'll continue to do so, was your absolute unfailing willingness to take on any challenge and actually ring me up and ask me for harder matches when you were pulling in arm wars. I mean, you used to do that clockwork, and that suggests to me that this is the kind of environment you're going to really enjoy. Win, lose, or draw. I think you'll probably thrive on it, because you did used to contact me and ask me for a harder guy. Who do you think's a really good challenge? Who's the man? Can you get him? I think it's fair to say we got 3 very, very hard guys here. What are your thoughts going into this, Jeff?
Oh, I'm excited. Like you said, win or lose, I'm just looking forward to having some fun. You know, I will be competing at WAF a week before this event, so I'm going to be doubling up on some arm wrestling 2 weeks in a row. And so that might change the odds a little bit, but I really feel confident right now. I feel confident in the gym. I feel confident at practice. I feel good. I'm just excited. I'm looking forward to having some fun. And I think that's been part of my problem over the last couple of years, just finding passion again in the sport and you know, enjoyment, loving arm wrestling, you know, that kind of thing, and not worrying about the money so much and all the bullshit politics that seem to fall in line. So I'm just excited to pull 3 different guys, or have an opportunity to pull some different guys here at the Arm Wars event, you know, have a good time. I'm friends with all 3 of these guys. We're going to put on a show. We're going to kick some ass, and we're going to have some fun. So it's going to be good.
Now, obviously, you were known for getting into the mind games, pretty similar to a couple of other lads on this call. Not necessarily Giannis. He was always the strong, silent type, but definitely Mindaugas. I absolutely love that about him. He's brilliant for that. Absolutely cutting. Also, Tommy Holland got a bit of an edge to him too. Now, what people may not know yet is that this whole experience is going to be a little bit like the Ultimate Fighter. We'll be going live from the athlete houses, from the apart hotel where you guys are going to be living together before and after the event for a couple of days. Now that gives a very, very interesting dynamic, doesn't it? Because, oh my God, when if you do well with someone and then you're going to pull them maybe the day after on the other arm, it's going to just be horrific, absolutely horrific. So, does that bother you, Jeff? Are you looking forward to that? Do you see it as a weapon for you, or do you think it's going to be something you're going to have to put the blinkers on and shut out?
You know, I'm excited about it. Like I said, you know, I'm always trying to play the long game because I have long distance goals in this sport, and I think this opportunity of being in the same house with these guys is going to be an opportunity for me to learn something that I don't know, something new, and maybe be able to use it against them in the match. So I'm just excited, like I said, to get up there, have some fun, you know, pick these guys' brains while we're, you know, we don't get to see each other that often, let alone be in the same house, you know, same space. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity for all 4 of us. And I think we're all going to take advantage of this opportunity as best we can.
Now, I'm just going to knock over a super chat that's come in, and I'm probably going to throw this to Giannis first of all. And it's from Levi, cavazness from Norway. I hope I didn't murder his last name there. But question to all of you. How long into your arm wrestling careers until you figured out arm wrestling training? When did you have the best progress? Let's go with Giannis first on that one. Thanks for your question, Levi.
That's a tough question. Best progress. When you are age 18 or age 20, you even don't need to train too correct, and you still grow and you still get stronger, and you can do whatever you want, and you will improve. But when you get older, you need to get smarter and more precise with your training, with your timing, with rest, with recovery, all those things. And but I believe I have been training quite good or quite smart from beginning of my career, because I don't think I was most talented athlete or arm wrestler when I started.
Interesting. Because now do you think that's the reason why you've got such a professional, considered approach, mate? Is that because you've had to sort of increase the diligence on every area of your game rather than relying on natural talent?
Yeah, I don't think I don't want to, like, if you look to other arm wrestlers, if you have great genetics, huge hand, some great overall strength from when you were born, usually you don't need to think so much and to develop all your training methodics. So, and if you are lacking all those things, you just have to work harder. You have to be maybe a little bit. I don't want to say smarter than others, but you have to learn from others as well, and you have to learn from everyone. And in Latvia we have very good overall strength training theory, overall strength training methodics, and we have very well combined it together with arm wrestling specifics and over knowledge in arm wrestling.
Mm-hmm. So, same question. Lean Machine, Tom Holland.
Yeah, just like Giannis said, it's hard to just put an answer to that really, because I started when I was 15. So from that age up until like 18, 19, I was making like a good steady progress. Then when you get to an adult, obviously you can't train as hard, well, I can anyway. My progress has come from going against the athletes I go against. Like I lose to them the first time, figure it out, and then come back second time, hopefully beat them. I can't put a time in my career that there's been like the best progress for a period of time. It's just been like steady. I've not changed my training regime or anything like that, so it's hard to, like, it's near enough impossible for it to go up or down in progress.
And what people might not know about you, Tom, is that you, for a lot of your sort of adult career in terms of when you've been one of the true forces or peak pullers in the world, your right hand's been very badly injured. And it's kept you out of competition for the last 3 years, effectively. Where's that at, mate? Are you still struggling with it, or?
Do you know what? It's not healed, but it's not hurting. So I've just learned to work with it. I've had to slightly change what I'm doing. Like I can't go like full inside now. Like I've got to use a bit more of a dragging sort of pressure to avoid that pressure on the wrist there. Too much supination is going to hurt it.
Interesting.
But yeah, it doesn't matter if you know that. But yeah, now feels fine. Been doing a lot of strap training. Feeling really confident with it. Just managed to beat Paul Maiden for the first time in the country. Yeah,
Paul weighing over 120 kilos at the moment.
I think so.
Yeah, I heard from Stoica Bogdan, and he said that Paul was around 120 kilos. So that's a big, powerful Paul Maiden right there. So that's got to make you feel good. Yeah.
Again, last time I pulled him, I lost to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an idea of what he was going to do. Took the risk, and yeah, it worked this time round. But it don't mean that he's not going to beat me next time round, because he might figure me out the same way.
Yeah, Paul Maiden, obviously a fabulous arm wrestler, very, very gifted, very talented, very technical puller.
Yeah.
So to get a win against a bigger man like that, as to be honest, all the guys on the call have had great wins against big men throughout the career. It's always sort of a nice confidence check for you. Tom, I want to stick with you on this super chat that's come in, mate.
Right.
And it's from sapthebee. And he's put, I feel like Tom Holland is the underdog in this series. No offense to him, but he's the least powerful resume. And got swept by Giannis. Any response to that? sapthebee, thanks for your question, mate. It's gone straight to the man.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I am the underdog, really. I've lost to 2 of the 3 guys. I pulled Jeff a couple of times, pulled Giannis once, pulled Mindaugas once. All world level, 2 of them multiple world champions. So I'm definitely the underdog in this. Strength-wise, not too sure, but experience, obviously, all 3 of them probably got that bit more experience than me, but I'm still learning. I've learned from all 3 of them now. So the only way we're going to find out is on the day, see what happens.
Now let's talk about experience for a moment, guys. If you look at the guys on the call and their track record and history in arm wrestling, it's fair to say every single one of you has got massive experience. You've pulled at the highest level for a number of years now, and you've definitely cut your teeth. However, Jeff, probably the most experienced on the call in Arm Wars super match format, and you've pulled Battleground. Giannis pulled Arm Wars before, never a Battleground, but extensive experience in Arm Wars. Tom, same. Pulled Arm Wars and pulled Battleground before. Mindaugas, first time in Arm Wars. Do you think it matters?
No. I don't think so. The Battleground format, I guess, doesn't really change much. I would still simply focus on the first opponent mostly, and then just hope for the next match to be also, or for the next opponent to be as tired as I am. And then the Arm Wars format might matter a little bit, but if you get ready for it, I don't think it's a big deal.
Now, you've just pulled very recently in Istanbul against unarguably one of the hardest lineups of lightweight talent that it is possible to amass. I mean,
pretty cool too.
Yeah, I bet it was, mate. I bet it was awesome. I felt like cutting off my own side tits coming over and trying myself. I'd have got my ass handed to me, but it would have been ace, because there's nothing more fun than getting into a murderer's row of arm wrestlers like that and just tearing it up. Jeff spoke earlier on about the fact that it's a learning experience, but it's also just a bloody good fun experience for people like us that like arm wrestling. Now, do you see the situation that you're going into here, Mindaugas, as being on a par with that, easier than that, very different to that? Where's it sort of stack up in your expectations?
So we had these 2 events in Turkey just recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one I think was pretty good because they gave us 3 rounds, and but I think for the second one somehow they thought that maybe the athletes got tired too much and didn't perform as good in the later rounds, as well in the later rounds, which I think was a big mistake. The second event was only like a single round fight, and then you move on. Very big mistake. Many athletes were somehow unhappy. It was just not clear who is stronger, who is better. You know, either Talgat is flashing someone in a second by a false start, and then nobody notices false start or something like that. And so I'm very happy about the 6th round matches. Very happy. I think it will be very, very clear who is the better man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% right in that respect. I mean, particularly in the first round match, let's be honest, after the first round match, it's a little, we have a horse race. I talked about it a lot in the concept of the Battleground. We have a horse race in the UK called the Grand National. It takes place once a year, and it's just a crazy horse race. The big thing about it is the length of the race is unbelievable, and the height of the fences that the horses have got to clear is unbelievable. And it's not necessarily just the fastest horse. It's getting over the fences clean and not landing on somebody when you hit the other side of the fence. And I always liken the Battleground to that a little bit, you know, because if you've been in an absolute screamer in the first round, your opening opponent, and remember, this is a baby Battleground. We used to do the 8 manners. And you can, I mean, what a bloodbath, you know. This is all of them 6 rounds as well. So 6 round matches, 8 men in there, just horrific, absolutely terrible. This is a baby Battleground, but the level is very, very high. And just noticed in the chat, Uncle John Thompson's in the chat. John, hope you're well, mate. For guys like John, who it's his first time in Arm Wars, I always remember Bob Brown coming over, pulled everywhere in the world, year after year after year, experienced it all. We came to Arm Wars for the first time. And I remember in his corner, the camera went over to him and he said, guys, if you've never pulled Arm Wars, you've never arm wrestled in your life. This is a ridiculous format. 6 rounds against somebody who's selected to ruin your day. 1 minute rest between rounds. Just horrible. You're not going to have fatigue like it. Now, you guys are going to be doing that same thing twice. Your first round opponent, exactly as Bob Brown said, has been selected to muck you about, to cock you up. Now, we're going to go to, we'll start actually with Mindaugas. If you had to pick your route through this thing, who would you have selected as your first round opponent and why?
I think it would have to be my good friend, Jeff Hale. Just because he, stylistically, like, he has a shorter arm. I don't see how he can make me or Giannis tired, to be honest. I can see Tom making me tired or making Giannis tired just because he's long enough and he can go in much easier. But Jeff, I think Jeff will be in trouble.
Interesting.
So I would choose Jeff.
Jeff Hale.
Just to remember good old times in US.
Jeff, if you were picking your route through this, who would you start with and why?
Oh, well, Giannis, 100%. I've been wanting to pull Giannis since 2014. We pulled once, but I wanted to pull him in Arm War 2014.
Yes. Yeah,
so, yeah. I mean, it's just a dream match. For me, it's just an exciting match. It's, you know, something I've always wanted to do. So I'm excited to pull Giannis. And that's, I don't give a shit if I win or lose. I'm just excited to pull him and have the opportunity to beat this dude. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I pulled Tom a number of times. So my next in line would definitely be Mindaugas. I need some redemption against that dude. He whooped my butt in Arnold Classic 2019. So, you know, again, all these matches, they're just fun to me. I'm just excited about all 3 of these guys. Don't really care who I pull, but I am excited to pull Giannis first round. That's definitely for sure.
Absolutely fantastic answer, mate, and that's exactly what I've expected from you. And I know that's the case because I was the guy who used to ring and ask for that match all the time. Oh, pull Giannis, all the goddamn time. So I know he was watching you. And to be honest, that was a big part of me putting you with Giannis in round 1 because I know how bad you wanted that match, mate. We've got another super chat. Herpes Asperini, thanks again for your second super chat, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Helps the channel a great deal. And he just put, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do each of you think Jeff Hale will beat you? #USA. Mega. Absolute quality. Herpes Asperini there with the question of the night. Love it. Absolutely love it. Who's enjoying the other week's East versus West? That's great. We're going to go to Tom Holland. Tom, if you could pick your way through this mother fluffer, who would you nominate as your first round match? Who would you want to pull first and why?
I think I'm happy with the choice that I've got now. Mindaugas, first round. Left arm because I've got the confidence there. Right arm because I just want to find out. I'd rather find out when I'm fresh. I've pulled Giannis before. I've got some things to work on there to get him. Same with Jeff. Pulled Jeff a couple of times. Again, I've got some things I need to work on. Mindaugas, perfect opportunity to find out where I'm at now. And then hopefully I can get redemption on Jeff or Giannis in the final.
Giannis. Same question.
Yeah, we are talking about right and left arm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Concentrate on right arm though.
It's let's first go, time I'm hearing.
Let's go right arm.
It will be a left arm as well. You
Right
know
right
that
arm.
last time I pulled it seriously left arm was 2012. You know that.
So
Okay.
right arm, mate.
Yeah, right arm. Right arm. Probably statistically, Mindaugas is most comfortable for many with not so long forearms, and same for me. And Tom Holland is interesting arm wrestler, and I believe Mindaugas will be really surprised in his fight against Tom. Jeff Hale, we have pulled before and we have met before, and I have lost to Jeff as well in WAL qualification, and then I think we met in final, but that was it with left arm, and I won that fight. So if it's Jeff Hale, then it's Jeff Hale.
Interesting. Jeremiah HCH in the chat. Mindaugas is going to crack everybody right-handed. So we got some support for Mindaugas in the chat there.
Somebody knows what's up.
I'm going to be honest with you. As soon as we put this up, we've had a lot of people coming in and really messaging and saying how excited they are to see this and what a stellar class it is. And it is 4 absolute serial killers. So I'm looking forward to this greatly. I think it lights up. I really do. But I want to come back to what we were talking about a minute ago with guys like John that are in the chat, and it's going to be his first Arm Wars. Jeff, what does he need to watch for? If you were coaching John or anybody who's coming into their first ever Arm Wars, what would you tell them to work on when they're 3 months out from the show?
Well, I mean, definitely stamina is a big part of Arm Wars. If you can manipulate the opponent to play that game with you. Mm-hmm. What I found over the last 3 years is that it's been a lot tougher with these elite level guys to manipulate them into long matches. Most guys just lay down. If they're in a bad position, they just lay down, give it up. They're confident enough and they don't have any humility to do it, so they just give up. Boom, next match, let's try it again. So, but I mean, I think if I were coaching someone new, I'd definitely be prepared for those long matches, because if you can make them happen, not only are they great for the crowd, but if you've got good stamina, then it's good for you.
Now, you were always very conscious of that. Obviously, you were the guy that played to the crowd probably more than anybody else in the history of it, and you got a massive fan following. I mean, I remember at the Trafford Centre, we had the old flame signs in the crowd and Hale Razor, and whenever you came on to the show, we saw a visible spike in the ratings globally. I mean, Eurosport used to tell me that. They used to say, "Oh, get Jeff Hale back, get Jeff Hale back," because people did. You were very polarizing, love you or hate you. How much of an issue was that for you when you sort of finished doing the Arm Wars to keep up the persona in a way? When to be Jeff, when to be Hellraiser?
Yeah, it was tough for sure, because the leagues and the promoters wanted that. They wanted that exaggerated a lot. And I was kind of burnt out on it, to be honest with you. And I just had done it so much for Arm Wars, it kind of became second nature. And then we had a long break, and then doing these other leagues in between, it was exhausting to be the Hellraiser again. But I found it to be a little easier with WAL because the camera's not up in your grill as much. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to have some fun, and I think the best version of the Hellraiser character is when Jeff Hale's having fun. I think that's the funniest version of him, the most exciting version of him. So if I'm having fun, the Hellraiser is going to be on fire.
Mega. Absolute quality. Now then, we're going to knock over a couple of super chats here. So, sapthebee, he's active tonight, mate. Thanks for your super chat. He says, everyone's prediction on the whole card. And by that, he means the main event straight off the bat. So, obviously, you guys will be familiar with the fact that we got a hell of a main event here. Maybe the best middleweight match that it's possible to do in the world, I would say, right now, between Rob Vigent Jr. of North America, obviously the hammer holder in the WAL, and a guy that is an absolute terror on the other side of the Atlantic. Sasho Andreev is, without question, one of the most joint strong arm wrestlers walking earth at that weight class. How do you guys see that going down? Let's start with Tom Holland.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Sasho. Yeah, I think Rob's got the high leverage. He's got all the right tools there. But I think especially if it goes into straps, if you can't get out of Sasho's wrist, I don't know. What was it? Out of 5 out of 6?
6 rounds.
Yeah, I'm going to say Sasho 5-1.
Sasho 5-1. So a big.
He's got too much horsepower. When he gets in his position, he's got too much there, I think.
Interesting. Let's go with Mindaugas.
Yeah, same thing. I think people should get ready to put the money on Sasho as soon as the staking opens. Just way too much. I don't really see a way for RJ to win at all. Of course, RJ is strong, he's great, but just the bone lock of Sasho is just too great.
Too much frame.
Yeah, too much frame, exactly.
Giannis Hamlins, maybe a little bit more familiar with Rob also.
Yeah. I don't think Rob will top roll Sasha, so most likely it will be inside the game. And they both love those long, slow fights. No one of them is super explosive, so it will be slow inside fight. And somehow I see that if Sasha will get in a good position, he has more chance of winning that fight, but it will be very, very, very even fight. And we have seen Rob before against slow, long fight against John, when he's able to stop John. We are talking always about possible fight between Rob and Todd Hutchings, mostly because everyone knows that it could be a real good fight. And so it's very hard to compare arm wrestlers which we haven't seen. We have seen Sasha against Todd Hutchings in Moldova a few years ago, and Todd Hutchings was able to win against Sasha inside. So it is possible, and why not Rob do the same? But if I have to choose, I would say it's a little advantage of Sasha.
Interesting. Last, but by no means least, what's the opinion of the Hale Razor, Jeff Hale? Who have you got, brother?
Only thing Sasha is saying that he will pull a WAF 1 week before Armwrest, so I don't know.
Little insight on that, though, guys. We had Sasha on the phone the other day with Bojidar, and he said, look, here in Bulgaria, we only get paid for one arm, whether we win or lose or draw.
So he could pull only left arm in a WAF?
Yes. He said if he was to win on the left arm, he could protect the right arm and just.
And he will pull 90 kilo class in a WAF probably.
I would expect so, yes.
Yeah, and what's the weight limit in Arm Wars?
Same
90 kilos.
Excuse me, 95. It's
95.
It's the normal. They're pulling the light heavy, so it's a normal light heavyweight class, and it's for the title previously held by John. So John obviously vacated the title of the light heavyweight division in Arm Wars, so it's a vacant title, and the winner will be the new champion of Arm Wars in the light heavyweight division. So you're following a big name there. Brzezinski gave up that title. He was the previous champion in the light heavyweight division. So yeah, hell of a guy to take the torch from, without a shadow of a doubt. Jeff, who've you got?
I think you can look at this match from a simple standpoint, which is just muscle versus joint. And if I'm looking at it that way, I'm going with joint. I think the European joint that we know, that we've seen on compete, is just, it's insane. I don't even understand it. Genetics is that's the only thing I can think of, is just it has to be genetics. But I think it's a little more complex of a match than just looking at it that simply. Rob's a bigger guy. I met Sasha. Sasha's shorter than me, and I'm only 5'7". This guy's like 5'5", maybe. If Rob can get the right position, I think he can beat him.
It's interesting. I bet a lot of people have said the same. Todd
think,
Hudson said the same. Marcio said the same. Brzezinski said the same. It's going to be I think it's going to be a very divisive match in that respect. I think a lot of people are going to see this differently, you know.
Yeah, I think hand control was a big part for Rob too. I mean, I think if he can move Sasha out of the joint lock, game on.
So, a little bit of a super chat just come flying in from Levi Melendi. Mate, thanks for your super chat. Really appreciate it. He's put hype to see Jeff back in Arm Wars. Oklahoma for the win, 100%. Thanks, Neil, for getting this incredible event together. I can't wait, mate. This is definitely going to be an event of the whole weekend, I don't think there's going to be a bad match on this entire card. I'm not going to lie. This is, I've had the good fortune to have some incredible cards in the Arm Wars Super Series, and I genuinely believe that Reality Check is going to deliver on all levels. And these 4 guys in the Battlegrounds just going to be ridiculous. And I expect that they're going to need a stuntman to hold their dick when they get home. Stig TP, thank you for your super chat, mate. I have no idea. Talking of dicks, I think he must have sent a picture of his own because it says message restricted. Thanks for the dick pic. And if you're going to send a dick pic and pay us some Norwegian crowns to do it, love it. So let's have a look here. What we got in. Herpes Asperini with one of my favorite questions maybe ever received here on the Supernatural Strength channel. Is Tom Holland a serial killer? Or does he just do a great impression of one?
You never know.
You never do, no. Here we go. Stig TP's come flying back in with another super chat off the back of that one. And thankfully, it is not a picture of his dick. He's put, you should have a bottom 8 match as well. I'm in. Mate, Devon Larratt will be bringing that back, sure, I'm soon. Particularly now that the staking's underway, I think it'd clean up, to be perfectly honest. And we'll talk about staking a little bit in a minute. But another super chat from my man, Brad Butler. Mate, thank you very much for coming in with a super chat. I know Don was telling me you've been in touch with her on the messenger as well. Jeff, when you pinned Tony Katowski screaming, you better believe in the Hale Razor, right after he said he believed in Jesus, it's my favorite arm wrestling moment ever.
Oh, epic.
Mindoggers is like,
I agree.
It is a good line. He did. I think my favorite Hellraiser moment may have been where we were in Vegas, and I want to say it was High Rollers, and you gave the evil knighthood, and you jumped, put the horns on the guy. That was inspired, mate. I absolutely pissed where I stood laughing at that. That was epic. Literally called the dude out the crowd and gave him an evil knighthood. I thought that was just immoral. Great stuff from the Razor. Vintage, that was. If you haven't seen some of the old Arm Wars events there, I'll tell you what, we had some classic moments, like the time Chris Ham crocodile entered down the steps. That was quite good as well. He did the old crocodile entry down the steps, and it was one of the best moments in the
That Leicester Square.
Yeah, mate, that was brilliant, wasn't it? Danced down, and then he said, I'm going for the crocodile. And we're all like, what the crocodile? And he got from up the stairs and went on his belly. That was epic, mate. Absolutely magnificent stuff. So we're going to go back and focus on some of the questions we got a little bit earlier on. And one of them was around calling the whole card, lads. So Ryan Blue Bowen. Yes, love him or hate him. Ryan Blue Bowen is a guy that definitely... He splits opinion, whether you think he's delusional or you think he's an absolute legend. He's going to be over there and he's looking for recognition. And he's going to be pulling a really solid arm wrestler in Stoika Bogdan. Now, how well do you guys know Stoika? Mindy, do you know him well?
No, not too well. I have seen him doing well, but
big
I think my club member Daniel met him a couple times, and he was telling me about him. But yeah, didn't ever meet him personally.
And have you met Ryan Bowen?
Yeah.
How do you rate Ryan Bowen, mate? Is he delusional or is he a legend?
No, I like him. I think he's doing well. I think he's, I would not underestimate him at all.
How do you see that match going? Do you think that it favors Ryan, or do you think that Stoika Bogdan will be the guy in that one?
In my mind, it's like 50-50. Like, it's really close. Maybe Stoika, if Stoika can get Ryan into some good, deeper position, then maybe I would still favor Stoika, but otherwise, it's very close.
Jeff, do you know much about Stoika Bogdan? Have you seen him arm wrestle much, mate?
I have not. No, I don't know much about him at all.
Yeah, interesting. Very versatile arm wrestler, really quick. And Tom, you know him about as well as it's possible to know him on an arm wrestling table. I think you've spent hour after hour training with the lad.
Been training with him since 2014, 2015. Yes, about 7 years.
Is the hype real?
Yeah, he's solid. He's last few years as well. He used to be like a one-trick pony. He used to always top roll, no hook. Now he's got hook, he's got press, he's got speed, stamina. He's got it all. I think he'll go through Ryan. No disrespect to Ryan. I know Ryan's good, but I know what Bogdan's like as well. He's a monster.
Yeah, I think the speed's going to be an interesting one because Ryan's often spoken about the fact that he's got speed but hasn't shown it a lot. And he's definitely going to get that opportunity in this match for sure, because whereas the endurance and top end strength could potentially favor a bigger version of Ryan Bowen, Stoika's speed is legit, particularly into that press. I mean, he hits that hard, doesn't he? He hits that with like real, complete disrespect. He goes flying onto it. So that's going to be very interesting to see if the brakes can go on. Giannis, how well do you know these two lads, mate? Ryan and Stoika Bogdan.
I know Ryan, of course, better than Stoika. I have seen a few fights in YouTube of Stoika against, I think, Paul Maiden and some others, and he looks decent arm wrestler with a good explosive start and working well, changing styles, and he's tough to beat. He's tough to beat. About Ryan, you ask about legend. He definitely got a mind for being one of best, and he's without any questions going forward and getting better, and he have one good or maybe not only one but many good things, and he's not much listening to others, and he's focusing what he's doing, and he's maybe not like world best arm wrestler yet, but he's definitely growing and getting stronger and stronger, and every time I see Ryan pulling, he's better. About explosive start, not really. He's not fastest out of blocks, but he's working well on table. He's technical. He's experienced with super match format with so arm wars 6 rounds is not a problem for him, I think, and he's dangerous.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. We're going to move on to our next match because it features somebody you know really well, Giannis. So we're going to start with you. It's Royce, the voice. Raimonds Liepins, mate. He's got an interesting match here because he was slated to arm wrestle against Ryan, but Ryan obviously a much bigger guy now. He's walking around, I think, around 105 kilos.
Yeah,
big puppy dog right now. He's going to be the next Jerry Cadaret if he keeps going down that route. So obviously,
Ryan was 75 kilo arm wrestler a few years ago. He'll meet him again because he lives in Birmingham. The guy that he started his career against, Daniel Najran, is from Birmingham, and he'll be at he's on the staff. I know him. He has been in Riga Open tournament as well. Yeah, some years ago.
Good training partner of Craig Sanders. Good dude. Yeah. He's on the staff at the reality check, so that'll be really interesting. But you're right, he was 75 kilos, so he took up a lot less space in that bed at the apartment hotel there than he's going to do this time round. But we obviously, or when I say we, I avoided that match because I don't want that mismatch in size, because you got Rolly Ray under 90 kilos in shape. I really like this match for Raimonds Liepins. I think Ray is a guy who gravitates towards the inside techniques. I know he's a complete puller. He can pull anywhere, but let's be honest, you don't see him looking for the top roll ordinarily. He's bred with a lot of top rollers, but it's not somewhere he wants to be. I I think it's a much better match for him. How do you see his match going, mate?
You talk about match against Alan Guerra.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be left or right arm.
Right arm.
Right arm. Yeah.
Alan obviously is a guy that pulled Ryan Bowen when Ryan was under 90 kilos. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of a, there's a barometer check. If there is any way of assuming that Alan will be there or thereabouts as strong, he knows about the match, he's training hard, he's been in contact saying he's very, very focused. Mexico's best middleweight arm wrestler, really solid puller, and also likes to hook and has a lot of endurance. So in a way, it's going to be like arm wrestling in a mirror for Ray. And do you think that he's suited to that, or do you think he'd rather pull a top roller?
It will be interesting fight, and Alan is not a beginner in arm wrestling, and has pulled WAL before, has pulled many super matches before, but in a super match format, I see that I will go with my teammate Ray, and if Ray will stop the fight, and if he will get in a fight, he will win. Ray is one of those arm wrestlers. If he can stop you in any more or less good position, he's in a fight. And usually in the super fights, he has pulled in many here in Latvia. If he stops you in a good position, if he finds that one angle he can beat you, he will use that and he will win.
Very interesting. Mindagus, who have you got in that one, mate? Do you know Guerra well?
No, I don't know him well, but I know Ray very well.
Did you see his match with Ryan?
I did see that, yeah. I don't remember my impression, but I guess maybe I was a bit disappointed by Alan Guerra. I thought that he would do a bit better. But even if he lost against Ryan, I still think that he should win against Ray pretty easily. Just because Ray doesn't really have too much inside, like top end power. He can go in quickly. He can catch people by just a quick triceps press, which is sometimes very uncomfortable to stop. But I think Alan will stop it, and then top end power just sideways. Boom, boom, boom. That's my opinion.
So two different sides of the coin there. Tom, who have you got?
It's going to be a close one. I had a little muck about with Alan on the practice table like 3 weeks ago.
Of course, yeah. Was that at Bognor Regis?
No, that was up in Wigan.
Oh, at the punishment gym.
Yeah. That's the one where they had a few super matches. Yeah, literally, as I was on my way out, he said, "Oh, can we just have a quick little go? Just have a slow little pull, light pulling." But it felt strong. It felt strong inside. We weren't trying to stop each other going anyway. We just both sunk into the hook. Ray as well. Ray's quite explosive as well, isn't he, when he wants to be?
Yes.
So, be a good match. I said I've never pulled them both before, so it's a tough one for me to call. But looking forward to seeing that one.
Jeff, how much experience have you got with Alan Guerra, mate? Have you ever pulled with Alan?
Never pulled with him before, but just watching him, I mean, he's definitely a pure hooker. I think he'll come into this match with a lot of confidence, knowing that Ray is more of a shoulder press, hook based kind of puller. But with that being said, I think Ray has more options. I think Alan tends to struggle with guys who attack your hand and wrist, like a lot of hook based guys. That hand and wrist plays a big part, and if it gets taken from you, you kind of lose everything else with it. And Ray's been training with some of the best top rollers in the world. He's a versatile puller. I really kind of feel like it leans towards Ray in this match because of those reasons. Again, I give Alan a little bit of a nod because I think he's going to be very confident, knowing that, or suspecting at least, that this guy's not going to attack his hand and wrist, and just full throttle going in there. But yeah, it should be interesting. I think it's a good pick. I'm looking forward to watching that match.
Yeah, I really like that match, and I'll tell you what, Royce is in the chat. The voice of arm wrestling is in the chat.
I chose wisely.
Yeah, Rolly's in the mother fluffing chat. And Royce has put, and I will top roll Alan. Shots
cool.
And if you do, Ray, you're a bastard, because that's not the idea here, Tom. Nope. Just saying. I ideally was hoping that you'd go straight into the hook with Guerrera, because that's where the match is going to be. Don't Zol F my ass, you.
Zol F my ass.
What are you talking about? Getting on here and, you know, oh yeah, I'm going to Zol F him and go flying through his hand and wrist. Get the out of here with that. Get into the hook. I don't want you to turn into a top roller last minute, son. Get yourself a new cat. Have a minute. You've told me about, son. Okay, and he's put, okay, I'll go into a hook. And that's why I love you, Ray. That's why you're the technical director on the fix, eh? I'm sending you a three-legged shadow shirt tonight, son. Love it. For Neil, I appreciate that, dude. Tell you, he scares me sometimes. Sunday night, wait till you get on here. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look if we've missed any super chats before we move on, guys. Let's have a look. I don't believe we have. Just going to let people know we're going to be on here for about 10 more minutes. And I'm going to let these guys get on with their evening, particularly Giannis, because he might be on a promise. It's probably midnight where he is now, about 11:30. What time is it now, mate, where you are?
It's 25 minutes past midnight.
25. His missus will be asleep. We'll do another 2 hours. Lovely darts. Guys, I'm going to get into the brass tacks of this thing now. You've had an easy ride up to this point. So we're going to get into it a little bit. Jeff, who's the hardest man for you to arm wrestle in this battleground? And who's the easiest man for you to arm wrestle?
I think Giannis is the hardest. And I think Tom is the easiest. And it has nothing to do, let me start with Tom. It has nothing to do with strength or anything like that. It's just that we happen to find ourselves both going inside for some reason. It just tends to happen. And I tend to have a little edge there because of the shorter lever. I don't know. But I definitely think Giannis is my toughest match by far. And I think it just comes down to styles. Giannis is a very good, the way he drops his wrist, drops his knuckles, blocks the hook. I mean, people don't hook Giannis. Now, Tom might have got a hook sunk in on Giannis in WAL, but that's because his leverage is ridiculous. Mine's not. So I think Giannis is by far the toughest match for me, for sure.
Is Giannis the toughest match for everybody else in this battleground? Do you see him as the favorite, Jeff?
I don't know. I don't see him as the favorite necessarily, but I mean, just for me personally, he's the toughest. I mean, that's just my opinion. I've pulled all three of these guys. So, but I mean, who's the favorite for this match? Geez, I have no idea. I really think the odds are pretty even all across the board. I mean, if I were going to give an edge to anybody, it would probably be Giannis and Mindaugas. But, these three guys, Giannis, Mindaugas, and Tom, I feel like maybe not Tom. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but you guys have pulled a lot more together than I have with you guys. Training purposes, tournaments, super matches, whatever. I've gripped Giannis's hand maybe 10 times my entire life. I've gripped Mindaugas's less than that, probably. I mean, he pulled obviously a couple matches at Arnold's and then a couple matches on the table at dinner, the night before. Yeah. But I pulled Tom quite a few times in serious matches and on the after table. So, I think I think someone said that Tom's the underdog coming into this event. I think I am, honestly, because I don't get an opportunity to grip these guys' hands very often. That's tough, man.
What's your weight, Jeff?
I'm 76.5 kg.
Okay.
And we're talking
I'm pretty much always that.
For the purposes of people in the chat, we bounced this around with the lads the other day, and I think we're pretty much agreed on 78 kilos as the weight class for this thing. 78 kilos. Now that's actually 2 kilos lighter than the old class. It used to be 80 kilos, but obviously we got Jeff and Giannis obviously around the 75 kilo traditionally. Mindaugas smaller than that, but the recent version of him is bigger. So 78 kilos is probably about right. Tom's the guy who's coming down in weight for that. So will that affect him? We will find out. But what are you walking around at now, Tom? You just above 80?
Yeah, I'm about 81. I was at 81 this morning, but things will work at the minute as well. I'm getting like one break a day. So I'm having like one meal at work with the heat as well, just burning off so much. it's a bit of a struggle just keeping the weight on, letting on gaining weight.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to have any problems getting down 78.
It is funny. I mean, Rowley's in the chat, as I say, and he's just come on and put, "Can Tom make that?" And I know what he means. I mean, it's not like you're carrying a lot of fat there, Tom. I mean, Christ, I've had fatter hard-ons, but to be lying. But to be honest, you were there or thereabouts when you pulled the WL, weren't you? You were coming down to that kind of weight class. I mean, below that, so. It's definitely doable, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I'll do that really come down. I wouldn't even notice the weight drop with that, I don't think. Yeah, I think I'll feel just the same. It's not going to make a difference. I'm not going to feel fatigued or anything dropping down to that weight.
Yeah.
Touch wood, hopefully not.
Giannis Armrest. Who's the favourite here? And who's the hardest and easiest opponent for you? And we'll go in that order. So who's the hardest and easiest opponents and why from the whole battleground for you?
I have said before, there are no easy opponents in any combat fight sports, and I don't see easy day here, and you are smart enough organizer to when you put together fights, you know that that will be possibly great fight, and you will not put together arm wrestlers who are different level, and all those arm wrestlers are top level lightweights, and I can't say easy. Probably stylistically Mindaugas, but table will show.
The easiest.
Going to interject a second, guys.
Easiest, yeah. Mindaugas.
Had a little chat just come up in a little message come up in the super chat, and rarely I respond. On this occasion, I'm going to do. Dave Anderson, he's just put there, in your dreams, Neil. Yes, mate, and your wife's. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and you ask about weight category 78. That works for me fine. I'm 76, 77 kilos, walking around all the time for last 15, 20 years, and as I have said before, like 75 kilo class and doping control works for me the best.
Mindaugas, who is the easiest opponent in the battleground? Who is the hardest opponent in the battleground? Who's the favorite in this battleground?
So yes, since Tom is my first opponent, I definitely don't think he is an underdog here. We have seen him getting better and better all the time. Plus, he's the biggest man in the battleground, so I think he has so many advantages. I'm really how to say, I'll have to be in my top shape to make sure that everything goes well. Jeff Hale is a little bit suspicious after I met him last time. He added some weight since then, so maybe it's maybe he can somehow do a bit better. Otherwise, I would say that Jeff Hale is maybe easiest. Yeah, I'm not really thinking too much about Giannis because I still have to go through Tom first. But maybe Giannis is the favorite to win. Like in my mind, I can see Giannis going through Jeff quite easily, while I struggle with Tom, and then Giannis just takes over.
That's the plan. That's a plan.
That's the plan.
Yeah, you've been reading my script, son, he says.
But knowing that, I will make sure that maybe I can somehow just get ready and finish Tom quickly in some magical way, so I can still have something for Giannis.
Do you see yourself potentially as favorite inside? I mean, are you being modest here and inside yourself? Where's your confidence barometer?
I think if it was not a battleground, if it was a single match with each of these guys, then I would still consider myself. I think I would be quite confident. I would go for a win.
It's just the fact that you've got the lean machine in round one and it might take some miles off.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm not really, that serious. I do tend to lose some matches, but I really respect every one of these guys, so I would come in for a win this time.
Interesting.
No more losses.
Lean Machine, Tom Holland. Same question.
Again, it's hard to pick a favourite. I think Giannis is probably favourite to win. Stylistically as well, who we got in the first round, I think me and Mindaugas are going to kill each other off a bit. Whoever goes right through, I think Giannis might get through a bit easier. I just think it depends. If Jeff can access the hook, it's going to change it up altogether. But
Yes,
obviously Giannis is going to try and stop that from happening. I don't think Giannis will go in the hook with him. That's going to be the big difference in the game. But I think Giannis has got a couple more tools, a bit more leverage. I think Giannis is a favourite. Yeah. With Mindaugas as well, again, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say who's going to be the easiest because they're all top level guys.
Yeah.
So, and obviously styles make matches. So it's all down to the draw as well, and who gets who's going to burn who out, and who's going to meet who in the final.
For you specifically, Tom, is Mindaugas a horrible first round? Even though you like the match, is it the hardest one for you?
I wouldn't say it's the hardest, but it's definitely not the easiest. The thing is, I've got an idea what Mindaugas is going to do. He knows my strengths, I know his strengths. But I think I'm going to try and change up what I'm going to do to adapt to him. I don't think he's going to change what he's going to do. If he does, then I'll have to change it up again on the day. But yeah, I think he's going to commit to his move, and I think I can just work with that, hopefully. But again, can't tell until the day. But I'm excited for the match. Can't wait for it, win or lose.
Oh, it's certainly going to be an absolute cracker, mate. We got a question in from sapthebee in the super chats, mate. Thank you very much for your super chat again. Really appreciate it. Neil, if you had to give someone the Arm Wars lightweight title, who would it be? Well, the Arm Wars lightweight title right now is held by one of the men that's on the call right now, and his name is Giannis Armrest. The Arm Wars welterweight title was also held by one of the men on the call, and that's Jeff the Hale Razor Hale. So two of the Arm Wars champions are here right now, guys. If I was going to give the Arm Wars lightweight title to anybody right now, it would be the guy who comes through this four. The guy who's the last man standing in this four. Because in order to get there, they got to take it. They got to take it off the guy who currently holds that title. So, yeah, this is the hardcore of Arm Wars. It's the battleground. So, let's see. As I say, I really don't give a shit who wins an arm wrestling match. I like seeing arm wrestling, and I like seeing arm wrestlers who can really do it. And all four of these lads can do it. So, we'll find out. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. I really am. Aussie arm wrestler Jake, welcome to the show, brother. Must be early over there for you, mate. Thanks for joining us. Mourning your five big legends. Picking a winner in this battle is harder than Chinese algebra. Ready, bang. Mate, thank you very much. And I know you'll be tuning in, dude. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute highlight of the weekend. No doubt about it. Barnaby Oldkirk coming in with a super chat, mate. Thanks for that. He's put lads late to the party. Maybe off topic. Who wins in these two? Devon Larratt versus Lovan Saganashvili and Mike Todd versus Hermes Gasparini. And we'll start that with Giannis Armrest. Who have you got, mate? Devon and Levin?
Make it happen, and then we will talk about this. But first, I think the biggest challenge is to make it happen, especially Devon against Levin.
Yeah,
that's the thing with all this.
And hypothetically, if it was to go down, where would your money be?
Not now. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
50-50 coin toss.
Yeah, I have thought about this, but first of all, make it happen, and then we can discuss about this.
Yeah. And just before we move off that, there is another super chat, and I'm going to come back to the other lads on that one. Clarks93, dude, welcome to the show. Thanks for your super chat. Giannis, do you have a winning record on Joseph Levi of France?
I have just lost one fight against Joseph, and we have met. I don't know, many or a few times, but we have met in different tournaments in world stage, and I lost once against Jeff in Italy in a qualification round, and then I came back twice in the final.
Mm-hmm.
And
your match in the opening round of the bloody
yeah,
what an absolute scream!
But Joseph is a fighter. Joseph is a fighter, and if he's in a match and you are not in the best position, then he can ruin your day quite easily.
And talking of ruin your day, the match between Tom the Lean Machine and Joseph Levi in the WAL European Super Qualifier was another one that was you got the win on Joseph that day, but that was another one that was sickening, wasn't it? It was an unbelievable match. Absolutely great. One of the best. So yeah, no doubt about it. He's rock strong. And we're going to go to the Hale Razor with Barnaby Olkirk's question, mate. Devon versus Levin. Mike versus Hermes. Who do you go?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't follow the big guys. I don't even care about the big guys. I only care about the small guys because that's what I do. But if I'm going to give it an opinion, I'm probably leaning towards Levon. I want to lean towards Devon. I want to root for Devon. But when I think back to his performance against Denis Saplinkoff, who's basically what Levon has turned into, this just monster of a person, I just think it's just too overwhelming. It's too much, but I could be wrong. Michael Todd and Hermes, I always vote for my boy Michael Todd. We're Arm Wars, homeboys pretty much, right? I think Hermes is a beast. His top roll is legit, but I'm still going Michael Todd. I mean, Devon cracked the code. Devon's different though. He's a versatile puller. I see Hermes doing mostly top roll stuff, mostly outside stuff, and I think you can fall into a big time trap going there with Michael Todd. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm going Michael Todd.
Mindagus.
Devon and Devon. I'm also thinking about Saplenko versus Devon. I'm trying to remember what happened. I can see it going in a very similar way with Levon. So maybe I would have to guess Levon, but you can never be sure. Devon is showing some good size recently. So in a very long time, we didn't really see it, but now we got some hope again. So maybe he is really trying to go for it again, which I would really like to see. But maybe for now, still Levon. And Michael versus Hermes. Probably Michael. I think Michael is in a pretty good shape still, and he should be able to handle Hermes.
Bigger man, still.
Yeah. Plus, still a good technique. Yeah. If Hermes doesn't have enough press, enough side, I think
I'm Michael sure it'll happen as well. So I don't think we'll be waiting too long. Tom Holland, how do you see those matches going, mate? Levon and Devon, Hermes and Mike.
So Jeff said about when Devon went against Dennis. If Devon's in that shape when he goes against Levin, no chance. If he comes in the shape that he was against Michael last time out, that could be really interesting. Depends how strong Devon comes in, how big he is. He's going to have to be a certain size to be able to pull against Levin.
Yeah.
If there's too much of a bodyweight difference, it's going to be too much of a power difference, I think. Devon's going to have to be at least the weight he was against Michael to give Levin a good match. Devon's got a lot more tools, I think. Other than that, if he's not in that sort of form, then it's going to be Levin's. And I'll have to go with Michael as well for Michael versus Hermes. Too much raw power.
Too much raw power and too much awkward.
Yeah. People like that are horrible to pull. Anyone's going to struggle with them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think we've just got Giannis coming back in a second, and just in time, actually, if he pops back on here in 1 minute, because the mighty Derek is in the chat. Big Derek, he's going to be, actually, Derek's going to be on the card as well, and I'm trying to get his match finalised. So, Derek, welcome to the chat, mate, and thank you for that super chat. Why has Giannis not come on? Just watching it flicker up here. It says it's thinking. He can't get in. Come on, Giannis, if you're watching out there, dude, try again. I did just admit you, but for some reason, you ain't popped in here yet, son. And we'll hold that thought, Derek. We're going to get to your question in a minute. Let's see. Readmit him. I think that's your end, Giannis. I think your PC may be knackered, mate, because it's not letting you in. I've admitted you there again, and it's not letting you in. But hopefully we'll get Giannis back in just a moment. Derek had just put in there, Iron Dick, will Giannis be getting any impressive facial hair to blend with this group? Great group of guys. I've got to be honest, I was very impressed with some of the facial hair when I came on here. Obviously with the tombstone tash on the Hale razor, which is a very new look for the lad. There it is. Boom! He's bringing the guns. That was quite good, wasn't it? Mindaugas thinking, motherfucker, I wish I'd done that one. Mindaugas with the biblical John the Baptist look. Yes, he's gone all biblical on us. And Tom, sticking with the classic and tested serial killer.
Serial killer.
Yeah, we had another thing in here earlier on for Tom, and it just said Tom looks like he's posing for a school photo. And I did have a little chuckle to myself when I read that. I thought, that's good stuff, mate. I'll tell you what, this could run forever. I absolutely loved it.
You know, if I was in school looking like this.
Yeah, killing folk and looking like that, terrible. Nobody likes that in a school. The problem with Giannis, guys, is probably that his missus has dragged him by the little bit of hair that he's got, which isn't on his head, back to bed, because it's like 1:45 over there or something like that. And with that, guys, we're probably going to leave it here. Let these guys get on with the rest of their day. But I want to say a massive thanks to everybody in the chat for taking the time out to join us. We will be back on the Supernatural Strength channel with another show on Sunday night for you. The Fix is coming on Sunday night with Royce, who was in the chat tonight, Ryan Bowen, and the White Oak, Paul Linn will be back in for that one. So, ladies and gents, keep your eyes out for that. Sunday night with The Fix, show 67. Guys, I want to say a big thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. I cannot wait for you guys to go bananas at the Arnold Classic UK. We've got your house sorted out. It's all coming together. Train hard, guys. I'm sure we'll have you on here again before that happens. But yeah, exciting stuff. I want to see the very best of all of you, and hopefully we get Armwrestling Derek in the chat. Abraham Sarasaitis. Yes, mate, he's gone for the look. It's a strong look, actually. You should keep. Are you going to work with that up to the event, Mindaugas?
Not sure about it. Let's see. Maybe. I'll for sure keep some of it. Hey,
interesting little fact for you. My mate James Statham just come into the chat. James, how you doing, dude? Good evening. He'll probably be in your house with you. This guy, he's going to be the camera. James is a good dude, and he'll probably be right in the mix with you guys when he comes over. Hopefully, him and Brad Cook, I'd like to get over from 217 as well to catch a lot of this stuff. So yeah, exciting times. And
are
guys,
we sure that Tom will not break down mentally?
Anything?
Well, like you did last time. Where's your tissue?
I mean, if you leave me with him for a day, he might not even show up to the match.
You leave me with you for a night, you're not going to get no sleep.
Talking of men that have had no sleep, there he is, Giannis Amelins. Hey, there we go. Giannis, I tried to admit you, dude. I wasn't kicking you out. I did try to admit you a couple of times there. It just, for some reason, when I did, you didn't pop up. I do apologize for that, dude. I don't know if they can hear us yet. He's still got a bit of a technical going on. Connecting now. He's going to be gutted in a minute. Giannis, dude, I did try to let you in. You flashed up a couple of times, and I tried to admit you, but for some reason, it wouldn't let you in, dude. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Some technical issues. Too late.
Yeah, you've just coming in time. Where Derek Smith was in the chat, mate, and he said, "Are you going to be growing any facial hair?" Megan Fox in the background, Mutha Fluffaz.
Hey, Des.
Hi, Meg. How you doing, lass?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad at all. Just admiring Jeff's tash there.
Oh my God.
Getting that long, it looks like a little John L. Sullivan in glasses. Absolute quality. Gonna keep that thing rolling for when he comes over here. But yeah, Derek Smith, Giannis, and he just said you're going to be growing any facial hair to blend in with the group so you can do a bit of bonding in the house. How's that?
No, I don't have such plan now.
Mate, that would be awesome.
No.
If you
maybe just will not shave for a day or two, but that's it.
Oh my God, I'd love you to show up with it. Can you imagine if he showed up with an ancient strongman tax like that? That would be absolute quality. He'd look like friggin' Charles Bronson. It'd be
only if that will gain some horsepower, but I don't believe in that. So no.
Absolute quality. Ladies and gents, we are going to let these guys crack on and get some sleep. Want to say massive thanks to everybody who's taken the time out. As I said earlier, thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it. Want to see the best of you and best of luck with your training. We'll get you back on here soon. Remember, guys, got the merch links and in the chat. These guys are all going to have an official Arm Wars reality check merch shirt launch shortly. And just to let you all know, any shirt that you buy of these athletes, the money will go to the athlete. So it's going to be their official shirt for any supporters, and you will be able to stake on these guys as well. Devon Larratt's Armbet will be doing the staking on these guys, and we'll be running some merch from to earn them some money as well. So, yeah, get behind the guy you want to kick ass in the battleground. And remember, we'll be doing the lives from the houses. Giannis just doing that little strategic stretch just to leave them with a lasting image of what they're going to be facing. And he'll also probably be coming out decked head to toe in three-legged shadow merchandise just to add that little bit of spice to the mental games. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching the Supernatural Strength Channel, Mutha Fluffaz. And until we see you on Sunday night back on here, take it easy, peeps. Lovely darts.